Hey, I sat down without making a noise. I'm actually surprisingly awake after that one. I'm surprised. Surprising. Surprise. Surprise! Okay. Yeah, that was part 9. I think the only reason why I'm awake is because it was me trying to make sense of everything. Oh. Yeah, if you don't know the plot to part 9, basically Jason dies at the beginning through some FBI stakeout and they blow him to bits. Unfortunately, that's not how things work with Jason. His heart remains and it sort of commands people to possess and eat it. So that way he can continue living on through different bodies. And then he will eventually find his living relatives, pass it on, and be reborn as Jason. I don't even know where to begin. Like, again, I'm gonna go over things in my head. A lightning bolt bringing him back to life. Okay. Psychokinesis, chicky thing. Cool. This just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Oh well. It's New Line, baby. I mean, they actually bought the rights to the movie after Paramount basically said, fuck it, we can't make enough money off of this anymore. If you don't know anything, basically New Line owns Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Evil Dead series. So they are kind of the monopoly on the big guys now. So, yeah, we're in the 90s, we're owned by New Line, and we're called Jason Goes to Hell. Friday the 13th isn't even in the title. I couldn't really confirm it while I was doing some research, but I remember hearing that they got the rights to Jason, but not the rights to Friday the 13th, at least until they did the remake. I don't know. I could be wrong. So, we're left with a really interesting film that just doesn't feel like a Friday the 13th. Although there are boobs. I mean, seriously, within like 10 seconds of this movie, boobs. It just seems to be becoming quicker and quicker and quicker as each sequel goes along. I don't understand. And the funnier thing is as quickly as we get the boobs, it's Kane Hodder is moving up further and further up the list of guests, and stars. He actually got top billing in this movie. He's like Jason for maybe 20 minutes, maybe 15. That right there is exactly what's wrong with these new modern Friday the 13th or even slasher films. Sex and the villain. No, it could be about the characters. Let's just go back to any of the Friday the 13th that I reviewed. Like I said, from 6 on they started to really start focusing more on Jason, but God, 6 and before, it was all about just the campers. Even if they were shitty characters, it was still about them. And really, are we just throwing every bit of continuity out? They don't even do a recap anymore. They don't even try to explain how Jason possibly survived the events of Part 8. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be just a standalone film. He doesn't even look anything like he does in any of the other movies. Fuck continuity, I guess. Why does he even grunt? It just feels very 90s. Like, when you watch this, it feels like the big budget sort of special effects and, like, we have to go bigger with this. It has to be a government thing, and the FBI have to be involved, and we have to have a bounty hunter. Okay, Crichton Duke, fucking awesome, because he's just Crichton Duke, but still, like, the movie even just kind of tries to pay nods to the films that came before by having 3 campers skinny dipping and having premarital sex and then getting killed. Like, it's almost like a giant, hey, you know what, we kind of know this exists, so, you know, here you go. Shh. Ignore the rest of our movie. My favorite thing about this entire movie is Crichton Duke is talking to one of the main characters and is trying to explain how only a Voorhees can kill a Voorhees, and only a Voorhees can rebuild or cause a rebirth of the Voorhees. That is Jason's purpose. And only this mighty dagger, which actually has no name, can kill him. Where are you getting this from? I'm pretty sure even if we put this on Wikipedia, they'd be asking for a source. I don't understand how they could just throw this all... Oh my god. It just hit me. This wasn't a Friday the 13th film. Well, Yes, it was a Friday the 13th film. Jason's in it, but I can almost guarantee you what this was is some poor schlub going to New Line going, I have a really, really good horse whipped. I think you might like it. And then they all went around the table and went, this is actually not too bad. Oh, didn't we just... Oh, yes, we did just get the rights to Jason. Oh, perfect. It really reeks of that. Like, seriously, there's middle chunks of this movie that aren't even really necessarily about Jason. They're just about the Voorhees family. And you could have easily done that about anything. Think about this as, like, Charlie Manson. He gets killed and his heart is possessing people. And now the Manson fan... Like, you could easily just substitute a name and all of a sudden this film is different. It's really only the beginning and the end that rely on Jason, and I'm sure that was just added in as bookends to the movie itself. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, connecting this to any other of the films besides the ending and the beginning. And even then, it just doesn't feel the same. He doesn't grunt. Why didn't he notice the gigantic lights and the tanks and he's Jason. Like, he can spot a teen having sex from a mile away, but he can't see the FBI? You know what? It's sad because I've sat here all day watching all of these movies, and here's the highlight of everything. I'm actually looking forward to Jason X. Why? Because at least it's fucking entertaining. And that's where I'm heading. Let's go watch Jason X.